Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. I am here today to talk about, that's all I have to say. This was hell, okay? I thought today was going to be worse, actually. I mean, today's actually a good day. I mean, this was the time change, the daylight savings time, or whatever the fuck. I mean, why do we have to have a time change? It's just so pointless and so stupid. Let's stop. Let's stop changing time. Why are we trying to change time? Okay, you're not going to be able to change time. Time is time is time. And Back to the Future, if anything, that series taught you. Time is time. And you're not going to fix time by changing time to save, why? Why? It doesn't do anything. It's pointless. But I thought today was going to be bad because of that. Because of the fact that, whenever there's a time change, you get up and it's like, ugh, I don't want to get up, or ugh, I want to sleep more. You know what I mean? But, funnily enough, I woke up at the exact right time. I woke up 10 minutes before I usually get up, and I looked at my phone and I said, oh shit, I got up at the exact right time, and I don't feel tired at all. So, I don't know how that happened, by the way. How did that... I don't know. I genuinely am, weirded out by that, because every time there's a time change, it just pisses me off. I get in a bad mood all day. I'm tired all day. And I know you're wondering, what does that have to do with this movie, Marco? What does that have to do with the subject of the video title? Well, I will answer you. I will answer your concerns. This the Whales of August movie, which I'm reviewing, finally. You could tell I've been putting this off. It is my last Lillian Gish movie, thank God. Okay? I mean, I like her a lot. I mean, she's a powerful, badass actress. She's definitely an inspiration. If I was a woman back then, I would have looked up to her and thought, yeah, I want to be like her. She starred in so many movies. She played so many roles that, she I don't know, she kind of always played the same character. She was always the same. She's a nice person, it seems like. She always played this kind of nice person-ish. In Birth of a Nation, she was fine. And Orphans in the Storm, she was kind of really weird, because it was like she was fucking her sister, and she was fucking tongue kissing her all the time. Really weird with that one. That movie was a nightmare. That was probably one of the worst movie experiences ever. And then, of course, Night of the Hunter. She was badass in that one. But she was still kind of the same type of character that she always plays. And I gotta say, that is my one criticism with her, is that she really did not play different roles. She kind of just played the same. She would lead lots of movies. She would, do a good job. But she is the female equivalent of Samuel L. Jackson. And that's fine. She is better than Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, honestly. She's not a laughing cartoon. You just don't watch her to laugh at her. With Samuel L. Jackson. But she's still kind of just... honestly, I kind of liked her more when it was a silent movie, because she has this very, very sexy and mysterious face that she does when she wears the silent movie makeup, and she just has this, like, gaze that, like, makes you think that you're in the gold ballroom at the Overlook Hotel, and it's like you met this mysterious woman. But then when she got to the other movies, it just, I mean, she even admitted it, that she hated the fact that silent movies went away. She hated that that those are now, like, nobody likes them. I don't like them. I hate them. I hate silent movies. I watched a lot. I mean, these movies, like, these were tough. These movies challenged me. And of course you have, like, the ones with Jennifer Jones, which basically, if you want to talk in terms of the universe, which I like to talk about those types of things, but I never get a chance to talk about it with anyone because it's just personal. It's very personal, but in my opinion, I really just think that, things lead to other things. And the only reason that things happen is because they lead to other things. And when I watched Night of the Hunter, I literally just watched that movie for fun. I didn't watch that movie because I wanted to do a theme. I just watched it for fun. I was really excited. It looked like a really good movie, and it was a masterpiece. And that movie led me to this week, to doing Lillian Gish week. That's what the whole movie was about, for realsies. That's literally the purpose that I had to watch the movie in the universe's perspective. And the only reason that I had to do this week is because I had to discover Jennifer Jones in Duel in the Sun. And then, of course, you know what happened with that. And so, really, it was all just leading to Jennifer Jones. And I'm to make an announcement about her, my favorite actress now. She is my favorite. Number one, by far, number one. I mean, nobody's going to ever beat her, probably, ever. I am going to, every year, on her birthday, which is March 2nd, I am going to watch a Jennifer Jones movie and review it. I am going to do it until I have finished every single one of her movies. And why am I doing that? Because I like to celebrate people and things that I like. That's another thing is that I don't think people realize is that when I make all these negative videos, I'm not making them because I wanted to make a negative video. I make them because I wanted to celebrate things and people that I liked. And that's genuinely why I do it. Like with the Batman, I thought I was still excited for the Batman. I didn't think it was going to be the worst comic book movie I've ever seen. But it was. And so there's nothing I can do about it. I am just a glass. And either the movie is going to fill my glass up with sexy code red, or it's going to fill my glass up with piss. And to get to a glass of piss movie, this is Lillian Gish's last movie she was ever in. And it was badass. She acted in this movie even though she's in her 90s. And she acted in this whole movie, starred in it alongside Bette Davis! And Bette Davis, I read that she just had a stroke before making this movie, but the real star of the movie is actually a side character, which Vincent Price is in this movie, and he did a pretty good job, actually. I mean, he's just, Vincent Price... It's sad to think about Vincent Price for me, because I really think that he was shortchanged as an actor. I think that he was undervalued and underappreciated, and all the movies he was in are pretty much shit. There's rarely ever a good movie in his catalog. that are like good, like genuinely good. You know, you can't sit there and tell me The Oblong Box is a genuinely good movie. So it was nice to see him in this movie because we did that Vincent Price week, and I was like, Safi, she hounded me to do the Vincent Price week, and it was a disaster. And to be fair, I suggested doing a Peter Boyle week, and that was a miserable torture chamber. This movie was 10 times worse. This movie has to be one of the worst. In fact, so far on my list, spoiler alert, this is one of the bottom 3 worst movies of the year so far. This was exactly what I expected. You look at this movie, you look at the title, The Whales of August. Someone did a really funny Letterboxd review that I saw where it said, like, oh, you know what they should have made for sequels? The Sharks of July. The Octopuses of October. Like, that was pretty funny. But this movie, you know, you look at it, you look at the cover, even the poster for this movie needs some life, needs some energy put into it. This poster, if you want to even call it a poster, because a movie poster is supposed to make you want to see a movie. And when I look at this poster, it makes me want to take this movie and throw it in the incinerator. Like I'm getting rid of a dead body and I'm a serial killer. It's like, just get rid of every copy of this crap. I mean, you look at that cover. The Whales of August. And you have this big sheet of paper that looks like toilet paper with some fucking watercolor colored pencil drawing that someone in an old folks home did with these two old women staring at each other with their fucking old lady hats on and standing in front of a little tiny old people house in the middle of nowhere with another fat old lady with them, and then Vincent Price is an old man and it's a toilet paper drawing. It is the worst. One of the worst movie posters I have ever seen. And it just look at that crap. It just looks like crap. Why would you accept such miserable, terrible work? Why would you let them do that to you? Why would you let them have your likeness so that they could put it on a piece of toilet paper and say, hey, world, you want to go see The Whales of August? I mean, who in the fuck saw this movie in theater? Who in the fuck saw this movie and said, hey, let's go to the theater and see that movie about the old people sitting in a little house for an hour and then they're in an old house? Like, what the fuck? You would pay $13 to see that? You could see that any day. Just go visit your relatives, you cheap ass fuck. I mean, this movie, it was just bad. It was really bad. And by really bad, it's not even fully explaining how terrible this movie is. Because you have this movie, I mean, what is this movie about? What is this movie about? You got two old women. They're in a house. They live in this house next to the water in Maine, and they want to look at the whales the next day, and then they're sisters, and one of the sisters is really upset, and she's just miserable because she's old, and then they're both old, and they sit around just talking about being old, and they do old people things, and they listen to old people music, listening to music from World War II on a record player. What the fuck? I mean, what were they thinking? Like, wearing old people clothes, old people makeup, eating old people food. That's the thing about this movie, though, is if you are okay with watching these stupid types of movies where they're just, a movie about old people being old all day, like, who the fuck wants to see that? Like, give them some good roles. Give them a good story. Why can't you give them a story? They're old, so what that they're old? Give them a good fucking movie and let them give the performances that they deserve. Just because they're old, you're gonna just shove them into this stupid, dumb, boring, dull, trash, pointless, unnecessary movie where it's just like, they're old. They're old. Like, who cares? I know that they're old. I look at their faces. Have you seen their faces? They look like they're gonna fall off, and it's like a Scooby-Doo villain hiding their real face underneath a mask. I know that they're old. I don't need to be reminded for 2 hours that they're fucking old. And so you got these two sisters, and the movie starts off, and there's like a flashback of some sorts where they're young, and it's like this, it's got this weird tint and this weird old people, sad, sappy TV movie, diarrhea music. It just sounds like this movie is the equivalent of Lillian Gish and Bette Davis both having diarrhea in your ears at the same time. And you're like, and you're just sitting there letting it happen. And they're just flooding your ears with diarrhea. And then, that's not bad enough because Vincent Price comes in front of you and he starts like doing a naked dance in front of you. Like, that's what this movie is. This is just the most fucking stupid, miserable, torturous, awful experience. And for what? For what? What was this movie for? The only good use of this movie is the fact that I reviewed it. And I'm not saying that like a narcissism thing. I'm saying that just as like an entertainment thing. Like, if I was an audience member, I would be glad to listen to this review at least to get that entertainment. But nothing else. Like, literally, I would never watch this movie again. I wished I never watched it. I wish I could wash this movie out of my eyes. Like, I wish I could get some soap and just pour it in my eye sockets until the soap just, so that I can wash all of the old diarrhea in my head that these two actresses, they had diarrhea in my head and they flooded my, they covered my brain in diarrhea, because that's this movie. Like, just, there's no point, in anything. Like, it starts off and you got Lillian Gish, and she's pretty good, she's fine. Like, she's fine. She, it's like, okay, you're an old person. Who cares? And then you got Bette Davis. Betty, I would still Betty her Davis, okay? If you know what I mean. Okay, she has still got it. There is this, I'm not kidding you guys, I was shocked. There was this one part in the movie where this door opens and it's like a mystery, and Bette Davis is standing there in this flower dress, and she's got these sunglasses on, and I gotta say, like, even though she was fucking old and she just had a stroke, I was like, wow, she actually still pulls it off. She looks like a noir, like a femme fatale. Like, she looked awesome in this one shot. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I would take her to the dance, the Mayberry dance and the town of Mayberry, with fucking Andy Griffith telling me, Marco, if you keep on drinking rum and cokes, and I'm gonna have to lock you up in the county jail. You know, that's the type. I mean, I would love to just take Bette and her Davis to the Mayberry dance, drink some quote-unquote non-alcoholic punch with her, and dance around like a fucking weirdo, okay? I mean, I gotta be honest, like, she looked fucking hot in that one scene. Like, it was great. It was like, whoa. Like, how is that even possible that she did this fucking great job? She did this fucking, like, she had it. She had it. She knew what to do with it. Remember the producers? That's it. If you got it, flaunt it. Flaunt it. Remember that? Bette Davis had it, and she flaunted it in this movie, and she just went like, wha-bam! And I was like, whoa! Damn! Bette Davis. I need to watch some more Bette Davis movies. I got a hankering for Bette Davis now. I mean, she's no Jennifer Jones, but I got a hankering for some old noir femme fatale with some fucking sunglasses on and this pencil frame, and she's just like got this like little scowl on her face, like she's got some mysteries in her past and some skeletons in her closet, and she used to date a mobster and shit. Like, that's what I got from her in this movie. She was pretty good, actually. She was actually, I would say, Vincent Price, and then her, and then Lillian. But honestly, the acting was not the problem. The problem was this toilet paper that they had to read and pretend like they're in a movie. Because this was essentially, what if Lillian Gish was a part of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation, and she's like, before I go, I want to make a movie called The Whales of August. And then Bette Davis was also like, yeah, before I go, I want to make a movie with Lillian Gish, and we can make a little movie where we're old and we have fun together. And by the way, orderly, do you have my lime jello? I want just one, I don't need anything more than one little scoop of jello in my bowl. And then you got Lillian Gish, and you got Vincent Price, and he's like, I am so fucking sick of being in bad movies. I just want to be in one good movie before I die. And it's like, okay, Mr. President, dun dun dun, will you please put these three actors in it? Just give them a little budget. Just give them some millions and just put them in a little movie. And just put them in a little movie in Maine, and this little fucking hole in the wall, like a little, like an ant farm in Maine, with this little old house by the water. It's like with the Peanut Butter Falcon, where that kid, that awesome, he was good in it, actually. He was good. I would watch more movies with him and Shia LaBeouf. They were a fucking awesome acting team. But it was like that with him, where he was like, I really want to be in a movie. And they just made this movie all for him, and I thought, that was a good thing that they did. But this is what it felt like for this movie. It felt like a complete waste of time. I mean, this is everything you'd expect when you think, I don't want to watch that. It's just an old people movie. The Whales of August, more like the senior citizens of, because there's just so many cringeworthy, like, old people lines, like, take a shot and I'm not drunk, by the way. I know sometimes people say that I'm drunk, but I'm just putting on a performance, because it's so boring to just sit here and talk to no one about a movie that I don't care about. And so, like, I'm trying to entertain myself almost, like, just trying to, try to be entertaining, because I hate, like, just talking to no one about a movie that I don't care about. And in terms of there's just so many cringeworthy old people lines in this movie. Like, take a shot every time they say, "Do you remember? I remember that one time in August. Do you remember? I remember that one summer back in the 1200s and where I climbed on a horse and then I fell off. Ooh, I remember that. Do you remember going to the park with that nice young fella, Tyler? And then we walked around a little bit and we talked about things. That was this movie. That was this movie. And then they just sat around and they sat around and they sat around. They did little tiny things like, ooh, 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 you made me burn my muffins. Ah! And she got mad that her sister made her upset and she forgot about her little muffins and they burnt. Like, oh, just everything you'd expect to happen. Everything. And like this movie, like at one point they're like quoting Harry Truman and shit. Like, God, why did this have to be made? Why did Lillian Gish have to go out like a bitch? Like, take me back in time. Take me back in time, and I'll put her in a proper movie to send her off. Because this was just fucking ridiculous. Just because they're in their 90s means they gotta do a movie all about how they're in their 90s? What a fucking evil thing to do. Like, just imagine if someone had diabetes and they were dying from diabetes, and then they were like, we won't let you be in that one really good-looking movie, Back to the Future, but we will let you be in a movie about how you have diabetes and you're dying. It's like, what the fuck? Like, fuck off, Hollywood. F off. I'm not doing that. That's what it would be like. Like, just imagine if you were dying from a horrible disease, or you could be dying from a horrible disease, and then all of a sudden, like, a Hollywood producer's like, ooh, what would be really good, Sonny? We could make a movie about how you're dying, and about how you only have a day left. What do you think about that? It would be lots of fun. Because the thing about these old people movies is, let's approach it from a nice perspective. Let's approach it from like just a logical 1, 2, 3, 4. I am using my brain to think, instead of like just being like, oh, let's make a movie. Because people do that too much. Like, guys, I've never done that ever. With Super Dumbasses, I did it because I was bored, but also because a former friend suggested to me that it would be really funny to just make a movie with these other guys, and it'd be really funny, So that's why it's not like I just sit around thinking like, oh, let's make a movie about that. Let's make a movie about that. Like, who the fuck does that? Scam artists and amateur losers. And let's just break down, though, old people movies. So, you want to see a movie about old people being old. Which, the sad part is a lot of the people who clicked on this video, I hope that they don't get offended by that, but I really don't care at the same time because, I wanted to see this movie as well. Because I thought, oh, it has Lillian Gish, it should be really good. What a stupid idea that was. Sorry. But on one hand, the people in this movie, they only lived for a couple of years after this movie was made. So, I guess you could kind of say, like, that their family members will appreciate it, seeing it, because they got to see their grandparents in a movie when they're older. Like, Like, just, I'm thinking about who got value from this movie. Like, what was this movie for? Like, and then you have young people. Let's say you're a 15-year-old high school boy, and you're taking a girl on a date, and, you know, the only time I ever took a girl on a date was in elementary school, and, you know, do you know what the type of movie that I picked to see with her? The hottest girl in class at the time. I picked to see Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And she never called me again after that, but she was kind of a bitch anyway. So it probably would have happened anyway. But I'm just saying, like, when kids go to see movies, they don't go to see old people sitting around talking about being old. Like, there's so many points in the movie where, you know, there's one point where they're like, do you think that people live too long? Do you think that they outlive their end? Or some, like, just what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here? What is this? Who wants to watch this crap? And so, no teenager's gonna want to watch this movie. Then you got the cinephiles. The cinephiles will watch anything because they're cinephiles. Why wouldn't they? If they won't watch anything, then they're fucking frauds. And then you have, I guess, like, just, I don't know, like, who is this movie made for? Who? This movie was a waste of money, it was a waste of time, and it was a waste of talent. And then there's this whole stupid side story about how the sister, she's bitter. Remember Mara, the bitter woman from fucking Give Us Barabbas, whatever the fuck that fucking piece of shit movie was? Well, here you have a prime example where, like, Lillian literally calls her a bitter woman. But she does, you know something else about Bette Davis in this movie? She had a sexy name. She had, her name was Libby. And, like I gotta say, like, Libby has gotta be, like, one of the sexiest names I've ever heard. I don't know why. Like, I don't know what really makes a name sexy. But for some reason, like, Libby! For some reason, that name, like, really just gets me going. And so I thought that was cool. At least she had a cool name. You know, I don't really see many movies with characters named Libby. In fact, when I think of Libby, I think of fucking Jimmy Neutron, which is better than this crap. But there's this whole side story how you got Vincent Price, and he's just a cool guy. Like, he's just a fucking sad old guy, and he, you know, I guess he's like an immigrant or something. I just wasn't paying attention. This movie was so boring that I was playing like an Uncharted 2 speed run in the background as I was watching this movie because it was just so fucking boring. But Vincent Price is like an immigrant, and he did have this interesting story where I guess he doesn't have a home and he just wanders around visiting quote unquote friends or something like that. Like he doesn't have a home, and then at the end, he actually just wanders off, and it's like really sad because this bitch sister, Libby, says that like he won't be able to live with them. Like just really weird and sad and depressing, and just why? And it's too bad because like you actually could have made like a good movie. In fact, you could have made a good movie about like these old people wandering around. They don't have a home, and so they just like visit their friends. Like that would have been actually a pretty good story of like, you know, these old people who are homeless and they travel around trying to just find some places to stay for the night and shit like that. You know, that could have been cool. Because honestly, Vincent Price was the best part of this movie. He was nice, he was funny, he was kind. He was the best. He was just the best. And you had these sisters, and it's like, I mean, guys, they literally just sit around all day just going like, I'm getting old. And it's like it's like they're losing their breaths and they can't even speak anymore. And it's like, it gets more and more pathetic as the movie goes along. And that's the sad part about this movie, is the waste of talent. I mean, just because these people are old doesn't mean that they need to be put in movies like this that are demeaning and humiliating and bad and just completely dull and pointless and stupid. The only good thing was at the very, very end, there's a nice little song, but the movie has this like depressing message where, it's like, oh, time doesn't wait for you. And so that's what kind of why it was interesting that the universe chose for me to review this movie on this day, was because the movie was all about time changing and how, time doesn't wait for you and memories never fade but pictures do and shit like that. Like, that's the big theme of the movie. And it's a very sad theme, and I don't know why they want to put that in a fucking movie, because it's just a big, giant FU to old people. And old people deserve better. They deserve better movies. They deserve better roles. And I fucking despise this movie. If I could rip this movie to shreds, I would. In fact, if you want to know a really good example of an old person movie, go watch Tourist Trap. In Tourist Trap, you had this guy, I'm still growing. My voice is still, changing. My voice keeps on squeaking like every single video now. Like, remember when I used to burp every video? Well, now every video there's a part where my voice cracks because I'm still growing and I'm still, my voice is still changing. But in Tourist Trap, you had this old cowboy actor, and he wanted to become the Boris Karloff of horror movies, and he put everything that he had into that horror movie, into this cheap little horror movie, and it was a sight to see. I'll never forget it ever. And I even watched it with Safi. And, he had this sadness to him that, he really, really acted his fucking ass off. And that is an example of like, okay, there you go. You gave him a badass role where he's playing this like Norman Bates style character. Like, cool. Fuck yeah, get more roles like that, please. Instead of fucking, let's just sit around all day in our little fucking cabin and talk about how we're getting older. And then at the end, of course, there's no whales in the whole movie. That's another fucking thing. There's no whales in the Whales of August. Really? I mean, I almost threw the camera or something, because this stuff like this just pisses me off. This movie has no budget, but you can't even have a fucking whale? Can't even have just one whale? It's in the title of the movie. But the theme is that they waited too long to go see the whales. And so the whales aren't there because time doesn't wait for you. Like, I hate this movie. And now I'm going to review it. In terms of food, it's tough. It's really tough. Because when I think of old people food, I think of this one restaurant that Safi's sister took us to. I talked about it before on a different movie. There was this really terrible restaurant where they had this gross, bland food. And the only good thing was like their pie. And they had all this pie, and it was like, ugh, this is like an old people restaurant. But I gotta say, like, this movie is so bad that, like, I can't even call it food. Like, I can't even really, like, give this movie a meal, because that would be suggesting that this movie is deserving of, like, a meal. So I gotta say, this movie It is, like, I can't think. I can't think of a fucking food bad enough to give this movie. That's how bad this is. It's really, really bad. Ugh. And of course, I already did the disgusting pork loin with applesauce meal for Give Us Barabbas, or Barbaras, whatever the fuck that fucking weird ass guy's name was. God, what would be a good old people food? Ugh. Old people food. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm at a loss for words. This is like the only time in history where I have not been able to come up with a food review, and that should tell you how bad this movie is. I mean, it's really, 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 really bad. I mean, just what is movies even? What is food even? What is time? I mean, there's a fucking part in the movie where the bitter sister, she's like, who cares if it's November or August? Time goes really fast, and, you know, everything and everyone dies. Like, what the fuck? Like, why would you make a 90-year-old woman say that? It's so horrible. God, what do I give this movie? What do I give this movie? What do I give this movie? I'm just going to keep saying that. Like, what do I, no, that wouldn't work. What do I rate this movie? What do I give it? And now I have 20% in the phone left. I mean, what do I rate this movie? What the I can't think of a rating. This is really bad. Oh, shit. Oh, I can't think. This is why I like to have Safi, because she will talk and go like, well, and she'll just talk for hours, and it gives me time to think about a food rating. Like, what food goes with this fucking old people movie? Old people, just thinking about what is old people food, just what? What do I rate this movie? The universe is not helping me now. Universe, what do I rate this movie? I mean, it's windy out. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. The universe is not helping me at all. It's not doing anything. The sky isn't falling. The sky isn't forming some sort of a, I don't know. I literally don't know. What do I rate this movie? What the fuck? Come on, tell me, what do I rate this movie, please? Please tell me. This review is going on too long, and you, the universe, I thought that the universe was supposed to help people, but the universe, you are not helping me right now. Forget all the people dying and starving. Help me right now. I just need just an answer of what I should rate this fucking piece of shit trash movie. I don't hear anything. They're not telling me anything. What WTF? What do I even pay you for with my energy if you're not going to help me? Well, the universe won't help me, so nobody's going to help me. I mean, but you know what? An image just popped up in my head, so maybe the universe just answered me. Because there was this disgusting pizza that used to be here in our city, and it got torn down in favor of a Pizza Hut. You know, it was really funny, though, because we had a Pizza Hut in the shopping center, and then they tore that down, which really pissed me the fuck off. And then they had this Papa Murphy's place, And they tore that down, and it's like a minute away, and they put a Pizza Hut up there. So it was like, why the fuck did you tear down Pizza Hut to begin with, you fucking greedy ass people? Oh, to make room for a parking lot. A shopping parking lot. As if it really helps. Okay, so Papa Murphy's pizza is terrible. I mean, it is disgusting. It is gross. It is so gross. I used to have this problem as a kid. I've never talked about it before. It was very apparent sometimes when we visited relatives. But I used to eat food and kind of see the people and movies inside my food. And that is a part of kind of why I rate movies in terms of food. And so there was this one time where I was watching the Tom Savini remake of Night of the Living Dead, and I was eating peanut butter and jelly toast, and I saw the zombies as the toast, and like the jiggling jelly and the red strawberry jelly, and it grossed me out so much that I started puking when I was eating the food, because like it was hard for me to look at the zombies and then eat the food that like resembled the zombies. And there were some times where I would eat food and then I would see these old people, and I would get really grossed out and start puking because the old people kind of looked like the food that I was eating. And and I know that's really weird, but it was like a thing that I had as a little kid. I don't have that anymore. Fortunately, because it pissed me off sometimes. Like I had trouble eating certain foods, and I had trouble eating around certain people because it just was too much it would make me puke. I would puke. I would throw the fuck up. And Papa Murphy's pizza, if you don't know, you get all the ingredients yourself, and they're all frozen. Like, you go to the fucking grocery store to buy frozen pizza. That's what Papa Murphy's gives you. And you're supposed to cook it yourself. And you buy it, you take it home, and there was this one time, I'll always remember it because it was so gross. We didn't even get pepperoni pizza, we got just cheese pizza. And we cooked it, and the cheese was rubber, and it was like just so rubbery and so like that I took one bite of the pizza and the cheese all came off of the pizza, and then you just had bread with sauce, and it was so gross. It was so generic and nasty. And that's this movie. It's just completely just like a disastrous mess of trash and of bad ideas and bad things. Like, just, it's the same thing like with when they made those Twilight movies, just because they're making movies for teenagers means that you have to talk down to them and make these shitty, demeaning movies where, you have these stupid-ass characters who are, I don't even want to talk about Twilight, but you know what I mean? It's like, just because you're, like, just, I don't have anything more to say. Thanks, universe, I guess, for that little image of that Papa Murphy's pizza. That's what I rate this movie, though. That one little piece of cheese pizza where I took one bite and all the cheese came off. It was like rubber. Couldn't even chew it. It was so gross. So gross. So please like this video, comment, tell me what you thought of Whales of August. And then please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more honest movie reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.